Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sorry I have been so MIA. I know I really wanted to make videos this month, but with Michael being gone and me just taking time off work, I just wanted to relax and enjoy not having to edit sessions and everything like that. So it was a nice month break, but I'm ready to slowly start getting back into everything. But in today's video, I am going to be talking about tips about Pcsing Oconus, so hopefully you don't have the same kind of struggles I had when we moved to Alaska. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so the first tip is to make sure your physical for not only yourself but for your kids is updated. That is, I can't even tell you how important that is. That is one of the steps for EFMP, which you need to go through in order to get approved to move Oconus. And I would get into that as soon as possible, as soon as you even get orders to go somewhere Oconus, just because I think the turnaround time for like paperwork and everything to get back to you is, I want to say it's about a month. I can't remember, but I know we were rushing and everything just because Michael was in and out of schools and I couldn't do the stuff by myself. So that is super important. And number 2 is to make sure you apply for a government passport. That is free. All you have to do is go on post. I can't remember what building it is at Carson because that's where we had to do ours at. And sorry if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my computer just to make sure I cover every single point that I want to cover, just because it is so important and the move is so crazy. But you need to make sure you go get pictures done first. So either at CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, anything like that. And make sure you wear a plain shirt. It can't have any logos. It can't have any sayings. And I feel like girls, what was I? Oh, you can't show your shoulder, so it has to be sleeves. Because I know that's something I had to go change into a sleeve because I was wearing a tank top and it just wouldn't work. So make sure you do that. And I think you need your birth certificate and a copy. I think it's 2 copies of orders. I can't remember, but make sure you print off like 20,000 pages of your orders and copies, just because you'll be turning it into like different locations and everything like that. So that is super important. Number 3 is plan your move. Make sure your spouse will go through like briefings and everything like that, but make sure you set up a date for the movers to come and get your stuff, and make sure you set up a date for when you get to your new duty station to have the movers drop off your stuff. I know they only keep it in storage for a certain amount of days, and I think you can extend it, but I know you have to pay, but I'm not sure on how much, just because right when we got here, I think we were only in a hotel for a couple days, and then we got our household goods maybe like a week after, but I don't even feel like we left Colorado yet, or maybe we were like still traveling, but we got a call that our household goods were already in Alaska, so that was like crazy. I thought it was going to take longer than it did, but it didn't. So it was just in storage until we got there. Number 4 is make sure you document your move. What I mean by that is, if you have like expensive stuff, make sure you take pictures of it before the packer or the movers pack it up, just because stuff can get damaged and you want to make sure you have your claims and everything. So that's really important. And you can ship your like weapons, like your guns and stuff. So we had to make sure those were taken apart, which Michael did. We had to have the serial number of each and every one, so just a handgun and then the AR. And then they cannot ship ammo. So we just gave all of our ammo to our friend. But don't let people tell you that you can't ship them, just because I know Canada has strict laws on guns and transporting them and everything like that. So make sure you have that. And I'll be talking about my PCS binder and everything second, but you will get a piece of paper that you sign when you hand everything over to the company who's packing, and then the people who are packing will hand over and signed everything when they transport it to the next person, and so on and so forth, until you get your weapons back in your possession, and then you will sign it and everything like that, just to make sure, they are tracking where your guns are going and everything. Number 5 is to make sure you have a room or even your car designated for things that you don't want them to pack. Because when I say that they will pack everything, I'm not even kidding. They will pack every single thing. And it's like, some things are like pointless, like sticky notes. Like, I feel like one of our boxes were just like a sticky note and a pencil. And I was like, really? Like, you can't pack smarter than that, but they will seriously pack everything. Garbage, like, no joke. So make sure you declutter everything before the movers get there, and then have your purse, your keys, your, important documents and everything like that in a separate room, so then they don't pack up and then you're like SOL, because you don't want that to happen. Number 8 is make sure your house at your next base is ready, and make sure you have, every paperwork that you need to do to be able to get into your house. When we got to Alaska at Jber, Michael had to do a housing brief kind of thing in order to get our keys. And they only do those on certain days and at certain times. So you want to make sure, the duty station you're currently going to doesn't have that. Or if they do have that, just to make sure that you're on top of it. Because you don't want to, be scrambling and not have a house and have to pay a couple extra days for a hotel. Because that is not fun at all. Number 9 is if you're PCSing to Alaska, and if you're driving through Canada, make sure you have your routes like planned out your hotels, even call ahead to make sure you have a room and everything like that. Just because you're going through Canada, you're not going to have service. You don't know how the road conditions are going to be. And they do have a Facebook group, which I will link down below, just because I can't remember the name off of the top of my head. But they keep you updated. You can ask a bunch of questions on the road and everything like that. Everyone is super friendly, super helpful, and that is something that will be super important as well. Number 10 is if you're going to ship a vehicle, make sure you know where the ports are. Make sure you know how much your vehicle is going to cost you. Because like I said, we were going to drive through Canada, and at the last second, we just decided that we were going to fly just because it was winter months. Canada was getting a snowstorm and they shut things down, and I just didn't, my anxiety was already super bad, and I just didn't want to put myself, my kids, my family through that. And for an ease of my mind, we just decided to say, screw it. Well, let's just, get rid of half the stuff that we don't need in our cars and ship it, because you cannot have anything in your car. And if you do, you have to let them know. And I think it cost more too. I can't remember. But you have to have a certain amount of gas in your tank. And if you go over it, they will not accept it. So you have to make sure it is right there. My car wasn't at that when we went to go turn it in to the civilian port, because the military only covers one car ship. And let me tell you, it was $2,000 to ship my 2011 Jeep Compass. Whew. Yeah, and your government travel card does not cover that at all. So that was fun, kind of. Thankfully, my mom helped us out because it was short notice. I was crying and everything like that, but it was a hot mess. But yeah, you have to make an appointment online and you have to be there on time. The civilian port was so much easier. I can't even tell you. We were in and out of there within maybe 15, 25 minutes. And you have to make sure your car is basically detailed. We just did it ourselves. It has to be vacuumed, clean, everything wiped down and stuff like that for them to accept it. And when Michael went to go turn in the car for the military side of it, which is free, they cover one car, like I said, we were there for maybe a half hour just waiting and everything like that to be called. And then we thought we were ready to turn the car in and everything like that, but no. So we called an Uber. And it got there, and it turns out that Michael was there for probably an hour after us. So I just took the girls back to the hotel, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So I just let him do it, because he had to do paperwork and they had to check the car and everything like that again. So make sure you know what they expect out of you to make sure your car can be, accepted. And I feel like I'm saying and 5,000 times, but whatever. You have to be there at a certain time to make sure your car gets on the port. But yeah, that is all for that one. The next one is just explore and have fun. Make sure you go see stuff on your drive. We drove from Colorado to California, so we stopped in like Utah, Nevada, California. I think we stopped in one more state. I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like that whole trip was like a blur. But go see stuff. Go explore. We went to go see family in California, so that's what we did. We stopped for a couple days. I think all in all, we had like a month or so of Michael's leave time to travel. So then we did, Washington and Oregon and everything like that going up. And it was so much fun. Just go out and explore. Go take some family time before things get crazy with your spouse having to report back to their base, and then, they're working. So I think that is all of my tips. But if you have any other tips down below, please feel free to, share for other people, just because I feel like everyone goes through something different. Like us, deciding to fly last minute was super crazy, and I would not recommend that. Just have a plan, have a date, have everything set in stone as much as you can, because it's the military, everything changes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know, like I said, if you have any tips and tricks for fellow Army wives, military wives, whatever you are, down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.